There's lots of things that you should need to know and the risks of buying a tenanted property, whether the tenants are staying or not. So if you're buying a house versus a rental property and you're evicting them because you're going to be moving in, there's a few different risks with that as well. So I'm either sending you this because you're a client and you're looking at a property like this, or if you're an investor that you're looking for a property like that as well. So here are the risks, just so you understand and what to expect, because I've been through it a lot. Also, I know I have a black eye. It was not a fight. I got it from playing basketball here in Sudbury, got an elbow or something accidentally. I know it looks funny, but let's get right into it. So you're probably looking at this property and it's probably a pretty good deal because there's tenants in it, right? So either they're paying a little bit low rent or it's a single family house and they're renting it currently. So there's always that risk of them not moving out. So you're probably looking at it because it's a pretty good deal, but you have to understand the risks if you're looking to purchase it. So the biggest risk is the tenants don't move out on closing. So yes, you have the legal right if you're moving in. So it's a single family home, you give them 60 days from the first of the month, you have the legal right of actually moving into the property. So it's an N12, they would have to move out on closing. But the risk here is, what if they don't move out? You're not allowed to go there, pick them up, move them, get them out of the way, right? You have to start the whole LTV process. So in my contracts, make sure you have the right conditions. I would put vacant possession on closing. So yes, they need to be moved out, but on the odd chance that they're not, the seller would be in breach of contract because they didn't move out, so the deal could be dead. You're not taking on a property with tenants, but then the deal's dead, so you have to start shopping for another property. So it's like a little bit of an unknown for 2 months. Normally, I do my due diligence, talk to the selling agent, see what kind of relationship we have with the tenants and if they are going to be moving out. But no, that's a risk, right? So then you're starting the whole shopping process again, or you're granting them another month for them to move out. But who knows if they move out after that month? I'm giving you the worst case scenario here. I, believe it or not, have not had this scenario happen to me, but it is definitely a possibility and I've heard of it. Number two, if you're walking through the property and it's tenanted, I've seen many times where it is not as clean as you would have it yourself. So there's hidden damages, and those aren't really the responsibility of the seller. So this is good for you to know. This is another one of the risks, another one of the reasons why they're often a little bit cheaper, is because tenants don't normally take care of the property as well as a homeowner would. So when you get possession of the property, you do your final walkthrough, it has to be in the condition that you've seen it in. So if it was not the cleanest tenants, yes, the seller has to get it in broom swept condition, but it's not his job to patch all the tiny little holes in the wall, right? If they have tons of posters on there, if you see the sink isn't caulked well or the bathtub, like that kind of thing, you really have to look past that and realize that's why you're getting a little bit of a deal. So that is one of the risks. It's not going to be as clean as you expect. Whatever you walk through the property is what you're going to be getting on closing, right? Which is not normally a perfect house. So just be aware and ready for that. 3, another risk is assuming a tenant paying below market value. So the risk with that is just long-term tenant increasing, getting them out is basically you're not allowed unless you move in. So they're gonna be there until they decide to move, they need a bigger place. So you're stuck with a low paying tenant for a little while. The other negative is you're only allowed to increase by the CMHC guideline increase, and that's usually 2 to 2.5%. It hasn't been keeping up with inflation. So that low amount doesn't really increase as fast as it should, or getting them out. That's also an opportunity. If they do move out, it increases your value by 50 grand because rent doubles, right? So that's the benefit, the opportunity cost. And then number 4 is the tenant refuses to pay once you take over. I put things in my offers like conditions to protect against this. So looking at bank statements to make sure that they have been paying for the last 12 months. But it's always good to know the worst case scenario. If they've been evicted and you've agreed to take on the tenant, right? So maybe you want to close quicker than the 60 days. So you're saying, serve the notice and I'll take on the property regardless if they move out or not. Sometimes the tenant freaks out, gets mad. Hey, you're evicting me. They stop paying and then they make you go through the process. Again, these are all very rare scenarios, but I always want you to know the worst case. So me and you, let's discuss the ideal scenario for the property, what probably will happen, and what's the worst that could happen. So always have a plan in place. There's a lot of conditions that can protect you as a buyer. And if you're selling a property, you can get ahead of it by providing some of the leases, providing some of the information on the tenants, showing that they're good tenants. So if that's it, if this has helped you at all, like, comment, subscribe. Honestly, it really helps. Appreciate it.